off and running. The next and latest update in the Customer Experience World Games 2022. We are back again for another quick rendezvous. As you can see, my name is Neal Topf. I get to be the host and voice of the CX World Games 2022, and it is an absolute honor and privilege to be back in front of your screens again. I am joined by the world-renowned, at this point, Christopher Brooks, the founder of CX World Games. We're going to get to speak with Christopher in just a moment. You're also seeing a new face, or I think is a new face for many of us, Eileen Rosso. Eileen, welcome, and we are excited to see you and hear a little bit about you and your leadership in the CX World Games. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, how are you, Neal? Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Eileen from Buenos Aires, Argentina, part of the CX organization team. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to be here because I was in your same situation last year in the LATAM edition. So I'm so glad of meet you all. And it's a pleasure to share the same purpose of doing things right. So good luck.
Amazing, Eileen. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to ask you one question, but I just want to acknowledge we have Rob Murphy, who is cheerleading everyone. He's saying, "Go Team Top Guns." Rob, it's great to see you. We also see you put an emoji in there. I think it's an applause. And he's saying, "Hi, everyone." And Scott Rolfe, CX Top Guns are ready. That sounds like a challenge. And Jeannie Walters, Jeannie, it is great to see you. Awesome. She says, "Hi, everyone." It is really exciting when Jeannie Walters is involved in this. It's great to have everyone here. Eileen, a quick question for you. How have you seen things in the first challenge so far, round one? How have we been doing?
Oh, it's awesome. Everybody is so excited. I think we have great ideas, and the challenge is take action. I think there are a lot of good ideas, and everybody is so engaged with the challenge, and I think we will have good results. I expect it to.
Excellent. Eileen, thank you so much for joining us. We know we're going to continue to see you and hear from you. It's wonderful to have you with us, to have you involved. Christopher, catch us up on things. What's the latest and the greatest? We have a lot going on. I think we just completed our first challenge. We have the second challenge coming up, but I'm not going to spoil it. I want you to share all the updates with everybody. Please do so.
Sure. Thank you, Neal, and thanks as always. And Eileen's really, as always, in our world, underplays her role. She's been fabulous in working with the charities and the challengers to put together the briefs, and is doing a lot of work behind the scenes, looking after the players and the captains. So thank you, Eileen, for your support. So where we're at, Neal, we are coming to the end of Challenge 1. Challenge 1 isn't due in until end of play tomorrow. I can see there's a hive of activity, people getting together their submissions, all sorts of formats coming our way. So judges, beware. I've got a video link going out to judges later today just to give them a heads up of what's coming, but that's coming in tomorrow. So some might say, well, why have we got challenge 2 today? Well, we did have a request that get the challenges out to us sooner rather than later, so we kind of wanted to honor that. Plus, we've also got the opportunity today to catch up with someone from the charity. I'm hoping it's going to happen. I think we might have a little bit of technology issue at the moment. We might get there, but there will be a representative who we're a little bit more familiar with, who will be able to present the challenge if that doesn't quite happen. But where are we for challenge 1? Well, we're using we're finding ourselves in Europe for challenge 1, and for challenge 2, we're heading off to Hong Kong. So obviously these are the World Games, so we do travel around a bit, and that's where we're going to be heading to for challenge 2. So that's where we are, Neal. Everything's good, moving forward. Getting excited to see what challenge 1 entries look like, and gearing up for challenge 2, and secured our challenge 3. So we're meeting our charity tomorrow, which is a very different challenge again. So once again, we're full. All players taking part, judges all ready to go, staff like ourselves doing what we can behind the scenes, and 3 fabulous charity and causes that we can do our best with our CX talent and time to make a difference in their worlds.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Christopher, for the update. So what we're going to do in just a moment, we're going to introduce the video for the next challenge that everyone will be participating in. We're almost there yet, Rodrigo, just one more second. And if we're lucky and we overcome these quick technology challenges, we're going to be able to have, knock on wood, I'm crossing my fingers, and we get to bring Jess Noble back. Jess Noble has been involved with the CX World Games in the past. She's a wonderful CX thought leader, content creator, and I call her a friend. So we're hopeful she's going to be able to log back in, and she will tell us a little bit about the next challenge. One more second.
I think we're all good now. I think we've got our riders in place. So we'll have a representative from the charity, and we've got Jess, who has kindly introduced us to the charity. So we're very much looking forward to kind of understanding more about their world and seeing how we can help them. So I apologize, I've jumped in. I'll tell you what, Neil, I'm so excited about this. I fell off my chair when I started to look at the work that they do. I mean, I'm humbled to think that we're going to get the opportunity to make a very small contribution to the incredible work that they do. So here we go.
Here we go. Let's kick it off. Video, Rodrigo, whenever you're ready, you can hit play and let's share the video.
Our world is broken. Vast needs on the one hand, and yet a huge amount of resources, many of which are wasted. The challenge we face is how to connect people in a broken world. Crossroads is a volunteer-based nonprofit that helps connect people in a world of need. We do this in a variety of ways. We deliver humanitarian aid to people in need. More than half of what we deliver is done right here in Hong Kong through our app called Good City. We also match donations online across the world. We show people a glimpse of the world's problems through simulation programs. And we have a fair trade shop right here at Crossroads. These services are run by a full-time volunteer staff from more than 22 nations, supported by over 6,000 community volunteers each year.
我喺度負責嘅工作咧，係呢度嘅模擬體驗活動。由開始至今咧，我哋嘅模擬體驗活動咧已經超過有20萬嘅參加者曾經參加過。我哋牽涉嘅議題咧好廣泛嘅，有貧窮啦，有戰爭啦，有水資源啦，有愛滋病啦，有失明啦，甚至關於糧食。我哋希望透過呢啲嘅活動咧，能夠讓香港嘅參加者佢哋能夠稍稍咁樣去感受世界貧窮角落嘅一啲人嘅生活上高嘅挑戰，讓佢哋能夠反思、反省，並且咧賦以行動，最後尾係改變世界。過去咧有一啲參加者參加完我哋嘅活動之後咧，佢翻嚟同我哋反映，呢啲活動咧真係改變咗佢哋。佢哋咧去申請成為聯合國嘅義工啦，亦都有人咧成立 NGO。有學校同埋有一啲嘅公司咧，佢哋集體去呼籲佢哋嘅員工同學生一齊去參加活動，用行動改變世界。
As distribution manager, I ensure excellence in terms of operations in all areas of Hong Kong distribution. We are talking about furniture warehouse, we're talking about clothing, and other household items, including electrical. I ensure that these operations run smoothly and on a real-time basis. I also ensure that customers, clients, if you may call them, are actually living here with a feeling that Crossroads has helped me, that Crossroads gave me a quality experience. I came here to Crossroads, to Hong Kong specifically, to be able to help on a larger scale.
Crossroads is a very diverse community that works at Crossroads, and we impact both local and global communities. And the one thing about Crossroads, we might be small but and lacking manpower, but we make a big change wherever we go. And it's a difference between a guy receiving a cell phone from us to him getting a job, or mum receiving a sewing machine and able to support a family. And seeing that happen unfold before your very eyes makes a major change and an impact in my life.
Checking, in-service inspection, and hardware servicing of computers. Crossroads is also a Microsoft registered refurbisher, so I install fully licensed software on computers that we distribute. Computers are very well sought after items by people in need. This is especially reflected during the recent COVID-19 computer response, where we distribute 500 sets of computer sets to Hong Kong students in need.
Crossroads is a movement, bringing change to local and global issues and inspiring others to do the same. The problems are enormous, but we know that every action counts. Whether we are laying down 1 brick, 10 bricks, or 100, we're ultimately paving the way for the creation of a crossroads, an intersection of need and resource. We were able to support over 21,800 lives in Hong Kong in 2018 alone. And by taking in unwanted goods and spreading them to those in need, Crossroads is proud to say that we were also able to have an impact on our planet in a positive way, saving over 442,000 kilograms of goods from the landfill in a single year.
Wow. Christopher, you said it. It's a wow. It's a wow moment. What an impact. It is a pleasure to welcome Jess Noble, who is a longtime participant and leader in the CX Games and the global CX community. We've learned and know about Crossroads from Jess. Jess, of course, has a very close connection to Crossroads. We're going to introduce Jason in just a moment. Jess, welcome back. It's really nice to see you. I want to ask a couple questions. We really want to ask Jason some questions, but thank you so much for this gift.
Yeah, no, I am thrilled to be here again, especially after all of the good stuff, that you guys did last year for Resonate workshops. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Tell us, outside of what we just saw, for those of us that are participating in the games, what should we know? What additionally is there to know about this wonderful organization? And what are we going to get to know about it working closer?
Yeah, so I have actually been to Crossroads, I think 3 times, if I'm remembering. Jason is my brother, so he, his wife, and their 4 boys have grown up there. And I have also a very dear friend there that I actually met on one of my trips, Joy. She's originally from Nigeria. So I have very close ties. It is a phenomenal ministry of people helping people. And if you're playing in the games, in the write-up, you'll see a link to a TEDx talk. And when you hear where the organization came from, it's an accountant and a PR person who had no intention of starting an NGO. And that's really how they operate today, is just wanting to meet the needs of people that are struggling by partnering with other organizations on the ground in the areas that they serve.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Christopher. Sorry.
So what I love about this is and it's not to undermine what Crossroads are doing, but this plays back to our first challenge where we were talking about organizations who have a good intent, but the spontaneous volunteer then doesn't know what the landscape looks like and how to cope with it, and can end up doing more harm than good. And when you hear Crossroads' story, and there's lots of videos, so it'd be really good, and we're obviously going to hear from Jason, you see how they started to structure something and get themselves into a position where they get past that and create incredible opportunities and positivity through recognizing those particular challenges. So it's great. We're kind of seeing the charity that we're kind of trying to help at the moment. We're seeing it further down the line, and then they have new challenges, which obviously we'll go on to hear about. But I guess we should meet Jason.
Well, let me chime in really quickly, because during the opening games, I was private chatting with Elena and David from Challenge 1 and saying, I've got to make an introduction for you. And so I've been introducing David and Jason, and they're planning a call to chat about, what they each do, and are there overlaps and synergies or who knows what. So if nothing else, it'll be a fantastic networking connection. So that's just another fun tidbit of what the games is doing.
That's exciting. Well, here we go. Let's actually let Jason have a shot here. Jason, welcome to the games. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do for Crossroads. And once again, just a big warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing and allowing us to have the chance to serve the organization.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of it. I've heard great things about, I guess, last year's, and I don't know how long you've been running it, but it's a privilege to be a part of this. Crossroads, last 10 years have been doing corporate engagement. So essentially, that means that Crossroads is a platform between those who need help and those who want to help. And engagement is really what we try to do from engagement is to help that platform be easier to use, to be able to develop longer partnerships, more productive collaborations. And so it's corporate, but it's also, we work with a lot of NGOs, we work with a lot of schools, a lot of individuals. And so it's exciting. My previous life was investments, and what I get to do now is I get to be what I wish someone had been for me in the private sector. I was doing a lot of things in finance, but I would have loved to have helped, but I just, you're just too busy. I mean, you've got a lot of things you're doing, a lot of, your business plans, your KPIs, all this stuff. And you would help, but you just don't have time to go figure out what that is. You don't have the time to go vet what organization you could help the most, or how to take what you do and abstract it to a level where it's still useful for them, but it still leverages what you know or who you know. And so I get to do that all the time. Get to come alongside individuals and companies and industries, and I help them be able to help, and that's a gift.
There were two things that particularly struck me about the video. The video is wonderfully produced, and the content, the messaging of the important work that's being done by Crossroads. But it was very interesting for me to see that Crossroads refers to the people that helps as customers or clients. And that, here we are, many of us are involved in this global customer experience community, which you may or may not know so much about, and that's okay if you don't. We live, eat, and breathe how organizations help customers to have a better experience. This typically refers to the private sector, for-profit organizations. It's quite interesting to hear that in the nonprofit world, the people that are receiving the help are referred to, like I said, as customers, as if they were paying for services. But it was unique. It was a surprise for me.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a response to maybe just because that term carries a lot of weight in our culture. I think most of the people we serve would not be seen as clients anywhere else, but a client or a customer is seen as someone who has value to your organization, to your company. And most of them are not seen as having value to the economy, to even the community. And so when we term them as a customer, we want them to be given that dignity and the respect and the value that goes with those terms. So if we could use if our culture or our economy wasn't so consumer driven, we could use other terms. But that's, I guess, the one that we felt is most helps us all be using language that makes sure that we're seeing them the way they really are, the value that these people have.
And it's quite impressive to see the value that Crossroads finds in what some people may consider trash equipment, electronics, that might otherwise just make it into a landfill. But as a video so clearly described, that could be the difference between someone getting a job and using a cell phone that might have been refurbished and gifted back to a client or customer of Crossroads. Very, very well expressed and what benevolent work.
Yeah, I think one of the amazing things, we're right in supply chain central, even with all the things that have happened over the last few years, a lot of procurement, sourcing, supply chain heads for the region are based out of Hong Kong. And their coverage they would run teams out of Turkey and Ethiopia and Jordan, all the way out to India, out to China. So they're covering global supply chains from here. So it is a great location for that. And in many ways, it's not the only way we get resources to help or keep it from going to landfill. But sustainability and supply chains is a big thing that we do, a tool that we can offer those companies who, interestingly, even in just the last few years, have really woken up again to the idea that there is amazing resources that get thrown away, burned, destroyed. And all the investigative articles or videos, YouTube coverage hasn't deterred the challenge. If you have something branded and it gets out to the black market, then that can put your brand at risk. And so sometimes the easiest, cheapest way to take care of that when you don't have an easy recycling option is to destroy it. And so I think maybe we try and do two things in that space. One temptation is to recycle. If you can recycle it, recycle it. You can make a little bit of money back. The very few pennies on the dollar, but at least you can show something for it. And in a supply chain, every little bit of money is going to make you look better. And our heart is to invite them to donate it and repurpose it. Repurpose it for those who can't afford to pay. And so you think of those two, we want to repurpose before recycling. We want to make it available to those in a consumer or a capitalist economy don't have a vote with money. And so I think, not that those things are bad. Financial sustainability, that's a great thing. Recycling, a great thing. But I think in our part of a more sustainable planet is kind of making sure we're including everybody. Everybody has a voice at the table, and we can help them leverage brand new, even if it might be a slightly flawed item in a supply chain, or it's something that's been returned, access from a retail, or it's from a hotel, and they're refurbishing our hospital or a school. Those things, if they're in very good condition or we can refurbish them, can make an amazing difference, especially when it gets used as CapEx for small grassroots projects, which is where most of our containers would go internationally, to a group that needs a school, needs an orphanage, medical center, community center, something that community needs to break the cycle of poverty. And that 20-foot or 40-foot container can be just what they needed, 3 to 5 years of CapEx that transforms their community. So that's, a long answer to a short question, but yeah.
I really appreciate it. Well, we truly look forward to helping and having all the participants participate in this challenge that they are about to receive. Jess, I want to ask you a final question as we kind of wrap up here. What do you think, is there anything that the players will want to know or should know in addition to the briefing that they're going to get? Anything special that they should be aware of, keep in mind, look out for, or work towards in their spirit and approach?
Well, I'm a little bit of a broken record, and I don't think this will come as a surprise. I said it on the opening ceremony, is just keeping in mind that the groups that we're working with, not just this challenge, they're not sitting around with a lot of excess cash and time for elaborate solutions. And I know from having judged last year, seeing the submittals, people were really conscientious about that. But it's always a great thing to remind people, because if we come back with, elaborate suggestions, they just can't get off the ground. And because they're run by a lot of volunteer hours. I think in the write-up, it's half the hours, or that volunteers double the hours of the full-time staff at Crossroads. I might have made that up, but I think it's something I pulled from the website. So, and then just one piece of trivia that I remembered, and I can't believe it took me this long to remember it, about Resonate from last year. The reason I even know Resonate is because of Jason and Crossroads. Jason met Claire on a trip to Rwanda and introduced me. And so that's just, I had to throw that in as such an exciting thing about the games and all the connection points. And Crossroads is also a connector. So I know it's off topic, but I had to throw that in there.
No worries. You're absolutely allowed to do that. Thank you so much, Jess. Christopher, any final thoughts as we kind of wrap up here?
Sure. Yeah. So, Jason, to hear you talk about everyone around the table needs to benefit for it to be a better outcome just fills my heart with gladness, because for me and for a lot of the people involved in the games, that's the purity of customer experience. It doesn't work if a few shareholders or a few customers gain and other people say I didn't gain. Anyone can do that. Customer experience at its best is when everyone around the table, arguably even the competition, say, yeah, that's made things better for all of us. And I applaud the work that you do, because I know you have that as your purpose and your mission to make sure that everyone says it's a better outcome. What we normally do when we have these challenges, we tend to find there's one of three or maybe two or three kind of groups that we're helping. You've either got the benefactors, or you've got the donors, or you've got the volunteers who are part of it. And I think we just should touch on this, just in case people over the weekend decide to go off and start to look at Crossroads and start developing solutions. They need to understand who we're trying to help in this challenge, because it's a slightly different one. And in the video, Jason, we heard that you have volunteers, and we know you have interns who come and support and work with Crossroads for a period of time, and then they go off into the world and they live their lives with that wonderful memory of being associated, and maybe or maybe not stay in contact. So the challenge that we're going to serve up to our players, and perhaps Jason can talk a little bit and help us on this, is we're going to think about how do you keep a community of such devoted and committed interns connected to Crossroads when they're no longer associated with Crossroads. And to your point, Jess, what we're looking for here is an outstanding community engagement experience that allows them to have that connection back. And I'd imagine there's lots of reasons you get value from connections with interns once they've left, Jason. Would that be right?
Yeah, I mean, we just started interns season again this week. So we have about 32 interns who started on Tuesday. They'll be here for 10 weeks. Different than usual. We typically have 6-week internships, two intakes, and they overlap. But this year it's 10 weeks. But we also have offsite, and they started, 2 of them started this week. And so they'll be also 10 weeks, but offsite, doing it remotely. And so I think, yeah, as you stated, we really believe our simulations, if you are familiar at all with our simulations, there's a video online, CNN coverage of us doing one of them in Davos. And I think that video really helps kind of explain one of the things we've seen that gets people engaged, and it's interns. They did a lot of simulations this week, is that if you teach someone, you can teach someone to build a boat, but if you really want them to do it and not just know how to, then you get them to long for the smell of the open sea. And then they will figure out a way to build the boat. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what we'd love for them to do, is when they leave us, to take a little bit, of their time with us, but be inspired to do something through their career, knowing a little bit of what a nonprofit work is like and the opportunities we can provide for them to make impact all the way through their career.
Great. So you want to make sure that they keep connected, so that they in some turn either outwardly in other ways with other NGOs take some of the spirit of what you're doing, or even come back to you to help with new interns or giving some more time or commitment or resources. They may end up being head of facilities for a big corporation at some point themselves, I guess. So, but it's that connection, isn't it? You want to make sure you keep that connection, and what is the outstanding kind of engagement activity that the players, the teams can come up with that allows for that community to stay connected to you. That's what we're looking for here. I'm right with that, Jess?
100%. It's, and keeping in mind that interns are young people, so it's a subset of volunteers that are the young people, university students or adjacent.
Awesome. So that's what's going to be in the brief when it comes out. Lots of links to all the things there that we've seen. We can take questions. I've got a WhatsApp group open with the captains and the vice captains, so we'll post questions in there. And then Jason, we might through Jess just get a series of questions if people have got questions on Crossroads or things they're thinking about, and if it's okay to come back on that. And then on Monday we go live with the challenge. So very excited. And Jason, honestly, so privileged to be associated with such an incredible movement. And I'm sure the players, as they always do, will rise to the occasion. And here's hoping we can deliver something which really helps solve that challenge that we've been talking about for the interns and the connection going forward.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be a part of it.
So as we wrap up, I would close, maybe Jason, just leveraging your thought that you left us with. May we all learn how to build boats, but may we also learn how to yearn for the smell of the sea. I like that one very much. Let's wrap up and leave it on that one. Jess Noble, thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of doing what you do. It's wonderful to see you again, my friend. Jason, it's great to know a member of the Noble family and to see the amazing, incredible work that you're doing. I hope that you find benefit and true incredible value from this amazing group of professionals that are coming together and will be contributing towards Crossroads and the challenges that will be placed right in front of them. And a final thank you and applause and tip of the hat to Christopher Brooks, our founder and the one who inspires us to do all this great work, this great CX World Games 2022.
Albert it's easy. It's the players, the captains, the judges, the challengers, everyone else kind of, they make this thing work. So thank you all so much for turning up with your time and your talent. It means so much.